Okay, so this is a little book update for everybody. I got some bad news, and then we're going to try and slip right on into the good news. The bad news is I've lost almost everything I've written over the last previous few months, and that massively sucks. It's about 40 to 60 pages of actual writing, and it's a whole lot of other notes about the world and things like that as well. I don't know how many pages that was, completely flushed down the drain. How that happened was very stupid by me. I have a bad habit of not backing things up. Learned my lesson, that's for sure. And I had all this stuff on the cloud, and I know what you're thinking, Daniel, with the cloud, you're backed up infinitely. You're fine. Like, there's nothing that can go wrong. That's where you'd be right if I was in control of the account it was on. But, I left it on an old work account that I thought would be left active forever because I had gotten away with it still being active for months after me working at a place. And they finally turned off my account, and all that is gone. I tried to get in contact with Google for them to give me the info from it, and no matter how much you tell Google reps, hey, that's my book, they don't believe you, or their instructions are to not let you into an account that was deleted by your employer, obviously for security reasons. I reached back out to my work and told them, hey, I got some personal documents on there, and they pretty much told me, tough tomatoes. So all of that's gone. That's the bad news. It's really bad news. It sucks. But you know what? Gosh, diggity darn it, I'm trying to put a positive spin on it because I was already having some issues with some stuff that was written, and I wanted to do a whole lot of rewriting for various things. So I already have about 5 pages again. How exciting is that, everybody? 5 whole pages back up and ready to go, and I'm happier with it. So turning a negative into a positive. I think the overall quality is turning out a little bit better because it's round 2. I already knew I wanted to overhaul the magic system nearly entirely and incorporate some elements from some ancient Greek stuff I was inspired from, as well as some Egyptian elements that I thought were really cool. So I'm going from a really basic yet hard magic system to one that's a little more complex, and I think will do the story better justice as a whole. But yeah, frustrating it is still. Luckily, a couple other people I talked to, including one other booktuber, helped encourage me to keep going and not be so upset, see it as an opportunity rather than negative. And so we're already back on the horse. We're already kicking it through. To Patreons, I'm sorry you didn't get the character piece I promised you sooner, but I lost it. So I'll be delivering you guys ones ASAP. And that should be fun, and I'm really curious to see what you guys think. And I'm also going to leak a little bit of the information that the Patreons got onto here, because I'd like to give you guys a little bit more, because I know people who can't quite afford to join the Patreon will still want to know, and that's absolutely fine. Don't worry, guys. On the Patreon, you're still going to get more, without a doubt. But I'd like to talk about a little bit of the setting. You guys got a whole lot of theme work on the Patreon, and so I want to move setting stuff to being available here a little bit. I know I already talked about the fact that it's going to be more in the colonial exploration time. It is, obviously from the background of this video, going to largely take place on a boat or fleet, and so there is going to be those elements, and I actually like that. I like the constricting environment that being out to sea actually provides, because when it comes to character work, I think it's nice to have some high-stakes emotional moments to really unveil characters and make them interact on those higher elevated levels. And after doing some digging into it, you know, one of the hardest things for the commanders of ships to do back in the day for keeping morale up was having these people not get just unbelievably angry at each other and, you know, breaking up fights and stuff, because the crew, I mean, it's 200, 300, 400 people crammed on a boat for months at a time. If you hate Gary, whose cabin or whose hammock is right over next to you, you're gonna be hating Gary a lot. So I'm trying to take those similar elements and work them into what I'm using here, because I think it'll be nice for character work overall. And using the setting of being in the middle of and involved with the bad guys, not in the sense of like, oh, the Empire, but I want to kind of explore what it's like for your average everyday person who's surrounded by something that is evil or something that is spilling out propaganda and buying into it. I want to get into these characters who are not evil, but also definitely a part of the problem, and join in that in with some of the other elements I've been talking about. It should be a nice little setting and theme combination there to have the overall story I'm working on continually have good pacing, momentum, and enough little side things to keep everyone enticed and interested all the way through. I didn't script this video, obviously. I'm kind of just ranting and rambling. And I mainly just wanted to get out there that I unfortunately had a pretty massive setback that I'm going to try and put through, but I'm literally starting the book at a different point with this rewrite, so it's not like I can just copy and paste from memory what I previously had. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little book update. You know, if you people want to go ahead, I know some people expressed interest in somehow being a part of this. I cannot pay anybody. Obviously, this isn't something I'm making money from in any substantial way at this point, or, you know, it's just a small little book in the works. But people said they'd like to work on their own little character doodles and things like that, and that's fun, and you're more than welcome to. I encourage you, but I'm just fair on warning you. I mean, unless I'm contacting you or talking with you directly about being an artist involved or something, I cannot actually help anyone. I just want to get that out of the way because I'd feel horrible for someone to put a lot of work and effort into something that I haven't directly talked with them with, and then turn around and be like, "Oh, here you go," and I can't compensate. You know, that's not something I want anyone to expect. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to see a little bit more about the book and support what I do here in general. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.